Hi, darlings. I'm fulwahs and you're listening to Cuppa.perspective. If you're a new listener, this podcast is for those who are keen on improving themselves and where I share meaningful and professional advice, as well as sharing my honest perspective on all aspects of life. As you know from the title, in this episode, I'll be reviewing different personality types as well as my own, and how to determine or figure out your personality. I'm sure most of you know or have heard the term MBTI, also known as the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, which classifies people into 16 distinct personality types based on preferences in 4 key areas: extroversion or introversion. An introvert is a thinker who likes to take time to analyze details and all relevant information before making a decision or giving an option. However, an extrovert is more of a think out loud type of person who likes to discuss ideas verbally to arrive at a decision or opinion. I always heard about MBTIs because it's something extremely known and has grown in our society and generation. But I wasn't quite invested in it until I started asking myself, how can I calculate my personality type accurately and in a straightforward way? So I took the quiz, which by the way you can take on Google. Just search up MBTI test and a bunch of resourceful links will show up. So without further ado, I'm going to share with you my test results, and I'm utterly shocked to say the least at how precise it came out to be. According to the online test I took, I'm an INFJ/T, which means I have introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging traits. People that have this personality type tend to approach life with deep thoughtfulness and imagination. Their inner vision, personal values, and a quiet, principled version of humanism guide them in all things. And I agree with this 100%, as this basically summarizes my whole personality. These are the personality traits I have according to this test. Apparently, I'm 51% introverted, which says here that I likely prefer fewer yet deep and meaningful social interactions and feel drawn to calmer environments. And this is completely true, as I've said in my previous episodes how I prefer smaller, close-knit groups and social interactions more than larger, groups. Also, I prefer peaceful, more serene places instead of highly packed places because that stresses me out. I'm 81% intuitive, which says here that I'm likely very imaginative and open-minded, focusing on hidden meanings and distant possibilities. And I'm someone who always talks about intuition, especially with my friends, and people that know me can most likely say that I'm a highly intuitive person, and I can say that as well. I'm all about gut feelings. I'm all about intuition. And I feel like that I have a very high gut sense in terms of relationships, in terms of how that person acts towards me, in terms of friendships, in terms of things that happen, and I sort of dig deeper and look into the hidden meanings as it's listed here. I'm 56% feeling, which says here that I likely value emotional expression and sensitivity, prioritizing empathy, social harmony, and cooperation. And I'm a person that is highly empathetic. Even watching videos of people, I can feel what they're feeling, and I'm highly emotional in the sense that I will feel and I will put myself or try to put myself in that person's situation, therefore making me more understanding, making me more empathetic and sympathetic and more sensitive to situations. So this is 100% true. Not really sure about the percentage, and I don't really know how they, calculate this percentage, but I will say this: I am a highly sensitive person, and I also would say that I'm a highly cooperative person as well, as it's listed here. And to echo that, people tell me that I just know how to deal with people, I know how to cooperate, I know how to, sort out situations, sort out, maybe an argument, knowing how to deal with certain types of personalities. So yeah, I am 61% judging, which says here that I'm likely organized, decisive, and thorough, valuing structure and planning over spontaneity. And this is so true, because I hate when things are rushed. I don't like it when things are unplanned. It makes me stressed. Even if it's a simple outing, even if I'm going out for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes, I like to have it planned. I like to have it written down. Because if it's not written down, I'm going to forget. Also, I'm not a spontaneous person. And to be fair, I don't like spontaneity because I get stressed. I need to feel prepared. I need to make sure that everything is with me, that my phone is charged, that I have money when I'm going out, that I know when I'm coming back, I know where I'm going, when I'm going, all these aspects of decision making and going out, it needs to be planned in order for me to feel comfortable, in order for me to fully have the time of my life. Because if these things aren't planned, and if my phone is 20%, if my phone is running out and I have no charge, if I have no money, I am stressed because I don't like the idea of me not being prepared and me not deciding everything beforehand. And the idea of rushed, unplanned gatherings stress me out and frustrates me because I don't like going out of the blue. I like it if I know that 100% everything is with me and everything is planned. I just don't like spontaneity, and people that know me will know this 100%, and I get really fed up if, people are rushing me to get ready in 5 minutes when I've literally just woken up. Like, I'm not that type of person that can just, get ready in 5 minutes tops and go out. Because when I'm in times of stress and when I'm in times of having to rush myself, things don't go my way. Like, I suddenly need to go to the toilet every 5 seconds. My bladder is out of control. My phone is uncharged. I have no money. Like, it's a mess. So I hate the thought of rushing. Also, when people rush me, I get really stressed. Like, that really spikes my anxiety levels to the roof. Like, my anxiety is way up there if someone's rushing me. Like, I hate the feeling of people rushing me. It stresses me out so much. People have no idea what this does to me. I just don't like it. Even like the word triggers me. Like, be quick triggers me. Like, come on, come on. Like, that triggers me. Because I'm like, okay. And then my adrenaline starts increasing like crazy. I'm a mess when I'm rushed. So please, 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 if you know me, if you're my friend, please don't rush me. Please, because I will turn feral. I will turn like a monster, and I won't want to go out if I'm being rushed. So please, guys, just a quick tip, don't rush me. I'm 56% turbulent, which says here that I'm likely self-conscious, sensitive to stress, success-driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve. This couldn't be more accurate. Like I said before, I'm sensitive to stress. When I am stressed, I can't control it. Like, I have a hard time managing my stress. Also, my stress shows out in different ways externally, whether that will be my body shaking, having chest pains, not functioning properly. Like, when I'm stressed, my body instantly switches and changes. When I'm like, that's why I don't like to put myself in stressful situations. I also don't like it when people put me in stressful situations, because I'm very sensitive to stress. When I am stressed, I can't get anything done. I'm overwhelmed. Also, when I'm under stress, I don't think about eating. When I'm under stress, most likely I haven't slept well. I'm dehydrated, just lacking energy. So when people put me under stress as well, that doesn't work well with my body as well, nor my health. Which is why I'm learning on how to be more easy with myself and stress-free, because it actually detriments my health deeply. When I'm stressed, I start having, really, really hard, tough chest pains. Like, I'm not joking. And the main reason of my chest pains is correlated to stress. Like, when I'm under stress, I instantly get chest pains. Like, it's a given. And my body starts to shake. Also, if I consume caffeine on that day, like when I'm under stress, and I'm having a lot of anxiety, and also consuming caffeine, I get scared for my health because I don't know how to function. And it's scary because you're in those, it's almost like I'm in those fight or flight situations. Like, my body is fighting. And I know that if I get more stressed or more worried, that will make it worse. So something that helps is watching breathing exercises. So there's those breathing exercises where you like inhale for 8 seconds, and then you stop, I think, for 8 seconds, and then you exhale, and then you do it for 3 times. I have explained it incorrectly, I'm pretty sure, but it's something like that. So yeah, I've realized that since I'm more prone to stress, and I'm a type of person that it's easier for me to get stressed, I tend to steer away from those things that bring me stress. Also, I'm very self-conscious. Like, I know myself to the core. Like, I know how I act. I know how I am with people. I'm just very self-aware of myself. Like, if someone asks me, how would you describe yourself? I'll be able to answer. Also, in terms of, I'm very self-conscious. Like, I know I know like how I act. You know, I'm not a spontaneous person. Like, I don't do things out of spontaneity. Like, I'm very conscious, which is something I pride myself in. Like, I know how I act. I know, like, most likely how people perceive me. And if someone tells me, like, oh, you're like this, I'm like, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as if, like, I'm surprised, if that makes sense. Also, I'm very success driven. I love the idea of success. Also, I have been working on my perfectionism because that's something that I used to stress myself on and focus on a lot, which is something impossible because no one can be perfect. And I used to drive myself to the limit, um, even, you know, getting to the point of burning out. So I'm learning and I'm working on that side of myself. Also, I'm very eager to improve. Like, I love it when people tell me that I did something wrong. I also love it when I notice in myself my faults. And I love it when I know that there's things about myself that I need to improve on. And evidently, everyone needs to improve on something. There is no complete person. There is no person who is 100%. There is no perfect person. So the idea of improvement and self-acknowledgement and, you know, sensing my faults, that's something which I'm eager to learn about myself and eager to improve. It says here that your perfectionist tendencies drive you to constantly improve yourself and the world around you. This relentless pursuit of growth and meaning can be both exhilarating and exhausting. You have a knack for seeing potential and possibilities where others might not, but you may struggle to bring your visionary ideas to reality due to self-doubt or fear of criticism. You possess a rare combination of creativity and analytical ability. Your intuitive understanding of complex systems and human nature allows you to devise innovative solutions to challenging problems. However, your sensitivity to criticism and tendency to internalize stress can sometimes hold you back from fully expressing your unique gifts. Learning to balance your idealism with practicality and self-care is a key part of your personal journey. Oh my gosh. It's crazy how accurate this test is, and it's crazy how much I can see that, wow, this is me. So let me elaborate on what I just read. This is quite true. And I'm going to say quite because I want to elaborate on certain things because I agree with the whole statement I just read. However, I do want to elaborate on something which I read. When it says here that, however, your sensitivity to criticism and tendency to internalize stress can sometimes hold you back from fully expressing your unique gifts. I'm not someone who is sensitive from criticism from normal people. I preface this by saying normal people by meaning in terms of, you know, regular people, like humans, but in terms of professors, teachers, coaches. I noticed that when I receive criticism, I don't get defensive, but I take it to heart, even if it's not personal. Like, I've noticed that I'm not like this with people, my friends, my family, but I do get quite sensitive to criticism with teachers and professors and coaches. Because to me, it's like an attack on my work or my abilities, if that makes sense. Like, to me, if I get, say for example, some sort of criticism in terms of maybe an essay that I wrote, I get quite sensitive, and I can get a bit hurt if I receive some sort of criticism, if it's something which I thought that I was, highly advanced in. Like, I remember one time, one of my professors corrected me on something, or, told me that I said this wrong, and I got quite hurt, and I got quite sensitive by her statement. And I later realized that it wasn't something personal. Like, she is my professor. She said this because she knows more about this field than me, as she studied it for years and years and years. So she has the right to correct me on this. And I took it as an attack, attack on my opinion, or an attack of the thing that I said, or what I wrote. So that's my side of the whole idea of, sensitivity to criticism. However, I don't get sensitive when I receive criticism from people, but only with professors and teachers, which is quite interesting. And I'm eager to learn more about why I get sensitive with only those types of people instead of overall, everyone. It says here that in your professional life, you're driven by a deep-seated need to find work that aligns with your values and allows you to make meaningful differences. You thrive in environments that offer opportunities for personal growth, creativity, and the chance to positively impact others' lives. Your natural empathy and insight makes you particularly well suited for roles in counseling, healthcare, education, or non-profit organizations. However, your idealism can sometimes clash with the realities of the working world. You may struggle with mundane tasks or office politics, preferring to focus on the bigger picture and long-term goals. Finding a balance between your need for meaningful work and the practical aspects of a career is crucial for your professional satisfaction. Look for opportunities that allow you to exercise your creativity and work independently while still contributing to a larger purpose. And I agree with this. In terms of education, work life, and professional life, environment is an important pillar, because if I feel that I'm not in an environment which I am safe, which I am comfortable, which allows me to grow as a person, which allows me to expand my creative aspects and creative roles, that ultimately decreases my productivity, my self-esteem, my hunger and drive to work. Also, I'm not someone who focuses on mundane things. Also, things that seem unimportant and unnecessary. And I do struggle with simple tasks. Like tasks that are ultimately simple, I find that I struggle with them more than difficult tasks. And I am someone who focuses on the bigger picture and, how long I can reach. And I am someone who enjoys and focuses on long-term satisfaction rather than short-term satisfaction. So I agree with that 100%. The influential traits I have are perfectionism, ambition, motivation, and desire to lead. My strengths are 1. Visionary problem solver, which means my intuitive insights lead to innovative solutions. 2. Empathetic team player, which means my ability to understand others fosters a harmonious work environment. 3. Purpose-driven professional. My commitment to meaningful work inspires those around me. 4. Insightful communicator. My knack for reading between the lines enhances workplace understanding. And these are my weaknesses, according to this test. 1. Perfectionist. My high standards can sometimes hinder progress and cause stress. 2. Conflict avoidant. My discomfort with confrontation may leave important issues unresolved. 3. Idealistic. My lofty goals can lead to disappointment in practical realities. 4. Sensitive to criticism. My deep feelings can make constructive feedback feel personal. And I'm going to quickly elaborate, also correct some of these as I feel some of them are incorrect. 1. Perfectionist. I feel that is completely correct and is something that I'm working on. 2. Conflict avoidant. I'm someone that I don't really steer away from confrontation. I'm someone who confronts a lot and likes the idea of confrontation, because if I'm in a place where things are unresolved and there are certain situations floating in the air, making me feel stressed, making me feel worried, making me overthink certain situations, just basically bringing me no ease whatsoever. So I'm a type of person that actually steers to confrontation instead of steering away from it. And yes, it can be discomforting. However, I don't like a friendship where I'm confused or things aren't resolved. I hate it, in fact, when I don't know what's going on and things are happening without me knowing the full picture, or not sorting it out, or not communicating. Lack of communication in friendships and relationships is something which I deeply hate, because I want to know everything. Even if that person is upset with me, I want them to tell me face to face. Instead of it showing in different aspects. Like, I want them to communicate to me, talk to me, say it in words, show me how they're feeling, tell me if they're upset with me, and I can find a way more easily to make them understand or help them understand the situation, or explain things which they are concerned about. So I will have to disagree with that. Also, idealistic. I disagree with that, because yes, I do have high goals and I'm trying to achieve them. With God's help, obviously. However, I'm more of a practical person. Like, I'm not delusional driven, if you could say. Yes, I have high goals, and I think it's extremely good to have high goals and strive for more. However, I do think of practical aspects of every single situation instead of blindly walking through life trying to achieve these goals instead of focusing on the practical aspect of it, because practicality is really important and vital in terms of goals and what you want to strive for. Like, is this practical? Is this good for me? What are the pros and cons? Like, that's something I focus on. So I'll have to disagree with that also. The last one, like I said, number 4, which is sensitive to criticism. Like I said, I don't get sensitive from friends, family, people in general, but I do find myself getting sensitive from professors and teachers when it comes to my work, when it comes to education, and showing my abilities in terms of work and school, university, stuff like that. I find myself getting quite sensitive and taking it personal because I'm a type of person that I want professors and teachers to like me. I want to show them my efforts, my strengths, my abilities in terms of work and education and all aspects to that. But I am trying to get better at that, as it is something that is not personal at all, and I do take it personal and take it to heart, which is something that I need to fix. It also says here, your journey of personal growth is deeply intertwined with your quest for authenticity and self-understanding. You have an innate drive to continually improve yourself and actualize your potential. This often involves deep introspection, exploring your complex emotions, and striving to align your actions with your core values. Your growth path may lead you to explore various philosophies, spiritual practices, or creative pursuits as you seek to understand yourself and your place in the world. A key challenge in your personal development is learning to balance your idealistic nature with practical realities. This might involve developing assertiveness skills to express your needs and set boundaries, or cultivating resilience to handle criticism and setbacks. Embracing imperfection and learning to value your unique gifts without constant comparison to others are also important steps on your path to self-acceptance and fulfillment. I don't really have any additional notes to this because I can't even disagree with this because it's completely true. I am challenged with balancing certain things. Also, steering away from comparing myself to others and people I see on the internet because they have different lives than I do and they're not living my life and I'm not living theirs. And it's a journey, honestly, and I'm on this path to accepting fallbacks, accepting rejections in life, and that includes rejection from all aspects. Also, I'm on this path of self-acceptance. It has been a challenge, but it's getting easier, step by step. So yeah, wow. I'm honestly amazed and astonished how accurate this is. This is actually crazy. This is blowing my mind. Wow. My influential traits include resilience, confidence, grit, and sense of control. My strengths. 1. Deep self-awareness. This means my introspective nature fuels continuous personal development. 2. Empathetic. This means my ability to connect with others' emotions, enhancing my relationships. 3. Visionary idealism. This means my capacity to envision a better future drives positive change. 4. Self-improver. My dedication to growth leads to constant personal evolution. This is 1000% true. Like I said, I am very self-aware. I'm a very observant person as well, with myself and with other people. Being someone who has introverted traits, you could say, that makes you more observant of the world around you, focusing on things that people might not focus on, focusing on the small details, things that people might not see or know. So I'm a highly self-aware person, highly aware of the people around me, highly aware of myself, how I act, how people perceive me, how I portray myself as a person every day. So there's no surprise there. I also like to envision myself as, say, my dream career, my dream job, dream house, dream this, dream that, dream this. That motivates me more to work and to perform better. I'm also a self-improver, and this podcast is all about self-improvement. So there's nothing new. So yeah, I mean, it would be strange if I made a whole podcast about self-improvement if I am not one who indulges in that. So yeah. If you've taken the MBTI test, share your results in the comment section. I'd love to hear them, and what you've learned from this episode, and if you possibly might have the same traits as me. My weaknesses. 1. Self-critical. This means my tendency to judge myself harshly can impede progress. 2. Perfectionist paralysis. This means my pursuit of perfection may prevent me from taking action. 3. Emotionally sensitive. This means my sensitivity to others' feelings can lead to burnout. 4. Overly idealistic. This means my tendency to set unrealistically high standards for self-improvement may lead to disappointment and stalled progress. I would like to disagree with one of them. The only part I would disagree with is the self-critical part. However, looking back at how I was a few years ago, I was extremely self-critical of myself. But looking at myself now, I don't find myself to be critical. I would be critical in terms of maybe potential, or how high I can work, or if I'm lacking in certain things. But in terms of looks, appearance, how I look, emotions, stuff like that, I'm not really critical. Like, I don't really like to be hard on myself. However, I do like to be honest with myself. Like, if I feel like I'm not putting all the effort in, I'm going to be honest with myself, saying, okay, you can do better. I feel like someone does need to be critical in terms of educational standpoint, but not in the terms of being hard on yourself and being mean to yourself and judging yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the only part that I would disagree on, or maybe change the meaning of it, or change my perspective of it. So yeah, it says here that in your relationships, you seek deep, authentic connections that go beyond surface level interactions. Your empathy and intuitive understanding of others make you a valued friend and partner, capable of offering profound insights and unwavering support. You have a gift for creating safe spaces where others feel comfortable sharing their true selves, and you derive great satisfaction from helping those close to you grow and flourish. However, your own need for privacy and tendency to keep your innermost thoughts and feelings hidden can sometimes create barriers in your relationships. You may struggle to open up fully, fearing vulnerability or misunderstanding. Finding a balance between your desire for deep connections and your need for independence and alone time is crucial for your relationship satisfaction. Learning to communicate your needs clearly and managing your idealistic expectation of others will help you build and maintain the meaningful, fulfilling relationships you crave. Wow. Wow, wow. And to be completely humble, I'm a person that will 100% bring you comfort. If you feel like you have a problem, you want advice, come to me. And this is not me saying this, but other people have also told me that I know how to make them feel comfortable. I know how to put them in a safe space in terms of them communicating their feelings, emotions, asking for advice. People tell me that I'm good at giving advice. Also, I am a highly listening person. Like I listen more than I talk. I observe more than I talk because I like to fully grasp the concept and understand the full idea and the full picture before giving my opinion. Also, I love it when I help people. I just love helping people in general. Like, it just makes me happy knowing that I've impacted someone, or maybe reading your comments saying how much I've helped you improve on this certain thing. That makes me really happy. And that's what my podcast is all about, impacting others' lives, trying to offer insightful advice, and hopefully you benefiting from it. I do want to add, relating to the second paragraph I read, where it says privacy and vulnerability. I would say that I don't really fear vulnerability. I like being vulnerable, but I do agree that I sometimes fear people misunderstanding me, and I do sometimes get in the way of myself in terms of over explaining my thoughts or my point so people don't misunderstand me and people don't misunderstand my intentions, even if it's not needed. Like, I sometimes over explain my thoughts, my feelings, so people don't misread what I mean. And that's something that I can't control. And I've noticed that within myself. So that's something that I need to improve on. So I do agree in that aspect. But sometimes I don't like to open up fully. However, I'm open to it, if that makes sense. Like, if it's needed, I will open up fully. Or if it's in the moment, I will open up fully, if that makes sense. It depends on the person. Like, sometimes I feel like I don't need to open up fully. I can just keep it with myself and sort it within myself. However, if I'm in a place where I need others' opinions on certain things, I will open up fully and say my concerns. So yeah, also what I wanted to add where it said, finding a balance between your desire for deep connections and your need for independence and alone time is crucial for your relationship satisfaction. That's extremely well put. People need to be independent in groups sometimes. Like, you need to have that sacred space. You need to have that alone time. Like, I'm a type of person that I can't deal with being with people 24/7. Like, that makes me uncomfortable. Like, I need to be with myself. I also notice within myself that I sometimes dissociate from people, and I sometimes say for a week I don't go out because I don't feel the best. And I think that's important. I don't know if that's a negative trait, but for me it is a positive trait because I wouldn't want to show up as my worst self or if I'm not in the mood. Like, I don't like going out when I'm not in the mood. Like, I like, reflecting, being within myself, being within my sacred space, being in my room, relaxing, getting my thoughts together. I don't like going out in the world when I'm upset, especially when I'm meeting friends or when I'm in social gatherings. If I'm not feeling my best, I don't like to go. Like, I need to be 100% in order to fully feel comfortable and in order to fully enjoy myself. So I think it's really important and vital for a person to develop that sense of independence and having that alone time. People are sometimes scared of facing themselves. People sometimes run away from that. But how are you going to run away from that? Like, people will maybe, I don't know, put it off. Like, putting alone time off because they want to have fun or because they're scared to face themselves or face their emotions. And that's a really negative thing, by the way. Because ultimately, for self-improvement, you need to fully dig deep, fully indulge in shadow work, fully dive in to your thoughts and your emotions in order to fully grasp your thoughts, fully understand yourself and how to overcome a certain thing. So for you to run away from it is saying, oh, I don't want to improve, or I'm too scared to face myself or face the truth, which I don't even know what's worse than facing the truth, especially if it's with yourself. Like, forget other people. Imagine running away from something that you know is to be true, but you're sort of making it out to be untrue, if that makes sense. Other influential traits include authenticity, loyalty, altruism, and emotional intelligence. My strengths include 1. Emotionally connected. This means my ability to form profound bonds enriches my relationships. 2. Intuitive understanding. This means my knack for sensing others' needs enhances my connections. 3. Loyal. This means my dedication to relationships fosters long-lasting bonds. And 4. Thoughtful communicator. This means my careful choice of words helps avoid misunderstandings. And I am like this 100%. And I always say this, I do consider myself academically intelligent, but I'm way more street smart. I'm way more emotional intelligent, just from the experiences that I've had with people and my yearn to discover human nature and emotions and why people act the way they act, and my emotional capacity within that field. I also am quite careful with my words and my choice of words. I don't think it's beneficial to use words out of emotion. Let me explain. I would prefer to think deeply before I say something, especially if the person in front of me could be sensitive to different words. And I think this is something to do with psychology, but your choice of word is a huge indicator of how the person will most likely react. So if you're going up to a person, confronting them, being mean, shouting, speaking harsh words, speaking in a violent manner, most likely that person will respond in the same way. However, if you're confronting a person with peace and soft words, however, getting your point across, but in a more soft, subtle manner, most likely the person is going to understand your point as you're approaching it in a nicer manner. You can still get your point across, but not being disrespectful and mean or harsh. Even if that person has wronged you, you can still approach the situation calmly. Also, by approaching situations calmly, that increases your emotional intelligence and emotional well-being and your self-awareness and high communication skills. It shows that you're an emotional, intelligent person, that you act unemotionally and you act rationally instead of irrationally. So yeah, I think that's extremely important if you want to confront a person or say that they're wrong, but in a way for them to listen and not attack you and fully understand your concept. My weaknesses include 1. Overly idealistic. This means my propensity to see the best in others can lead to disappointment. 2. Guarded. Your private nature can create emotional distance. And 3. Emotionally porous. Your empathetic nature may lead to emotional exhaustion. And I've listed 3 instead of 4 because I've noticed that one of them would have been repeated. I agree with these 3 100% in terms of my weaknesses. I am a quite guarded person. Like, people don't really see through me, if that makes sense. Like, people sometimes tell me, I don't know what you're thinking. But I do show people how I'm thinking, if that makes sense. However, I am guarded. You know, I do put that barrier. I do have that protective shield around me. Also, I can be overly idealistic. Like, sometimes I get shocked if a person does something to me or acts a certain way that can be considered stupid or unnecessary. Even me knowing how that person actually is and how their nature is, and even me knowing that that person is problematic and overall not a good person, I still get shocked till this day if I'm confronted with an unwelcoming nature by them, or a situation that they have put on me, or whatever the case may be. I do find myself getting shocked, even if I still know how that person is, experiencing things with that person. I still find myself getting shocked, which is something that I should improve and work on, because if someone's showing me their character, what's the point of getting shocked? Like, I always like to see the good in people instead of focusing on the bad. However, with some people, that doesn't work. It's almost like you have to see the bad in them. It's almost like you're faced with negative sides to them more than good sides to them, and it's upsetting, but you can't change it, and that's not your fault. Also, I am emotionally porous, and since I'm an empathetic person, that does lead me to exhaust myself out, as I am in so tune with emotions and others' emotions and feelings and stuff like that. Don't worry, guys, we're nearly done, but I just wanted to give you guys the full experience of my test results. Then I will be explaining maybe your personality type or the different personality types. So be patient with me. It says here that, referring to me, your academic life is characterized by a deep desire for meaningful learning and personal growth. You approach your studies with a mix of creativity and analytic rigor, often seeking to understand how knowledge can be applied to improve the world. Your intuitive nature allows you to grasp complex concepts quickly, especially in fields related to human behavior and social issues. Group projects can be both rewarding and challenging for you. While you excel at understanding and meditating between different viewpoints, you may find it difficult to assert your own ideas, especially in the face of stronger personalities. Wow, wow, wow. The first paragraph couldn't be more true. However, the second one, I do agree in terms of I am a quiet person. Like, I'm more of a calm person, instead of a loud, talkative, if you will, in a classroom. Not to say that I'm not talkative, because I am talkative within my closest friends. However, like I said before, I am a highly observant person. Like, I don't say more than I think. So, like, I think before I say. Like, I don't view my opinions and thoughts unless I fully grasp the concept and fully understand the concept. Like, I won't answer if I don't know. I won't voice my opinion if I don't know what it means. I like to fully understand the concept before voicing my opinion. Also considering all aspects of it before making a decision and opinion. In terms of group projects, I do find it nice. However, when I'm faced with maybe obnoxious personalities, if you will, it does become harder for me to offer my ideas, but not impossible. Like, I will offer my ideas and opinions if I'm firm about it and if I agree with it. Influential traits include studiousness, practical learning, critical thinking, and collaborative study. My strengths include 1. Pattern recognition, which means my ability to see underlying patterns and connections often leads to unique insights and enhanced learning. 2. Researching deeply. When a topic captures my interest, I'm capable of diving deep, uncovering nuanced information that others might overlook. 3. Empathetic perspective. In human-centered topics, my natural empathy allows for a rich understanding of diverse viewpoints and motivations. And 4. Symbolic interpretation. My natural affinity for symbolism and metaphor allows me to excel in subjects that require deep interpretive analysis. I have no additional notes because this is me 100%. My weaknesses include 1. Course selectivity, which means my tendency to choose courses based on their potential for personal growth or societal impact might lead to overlooking practical subjects that are necessary for a well-rounded education or career preparation. 2. Difficulty with mundane tasks. Routine assignments or rote memorization may feel uninspiring to me, potentially leading to frustration and decreased motivation. 3. Overcommitment to ideals. My strong convictions about how things should be might sometimes hinder my objective analysis in certain subjects. 4. Sensitivity to academic environment. An unsupportive or overly competitive classroom atmosphere can significantly impact my performance and engagement. I would like to add notes on this. There is some which are repeated, referring to difficulty with mundane tasks. Like I said before, I find it harder to complete simpler tasks than harder tasks. Like, say, I have difficulty with submitting homework on time. Even if it's easy, I sometimes procrastinate and often think that, oh, I have time to complete this, or this is too easy, and it turning out to be harder than I thought, therefore leading to submitting it late and completing it in a longer time frame. Also, I'm someone that finds my academic environment extremely important. Like, I'm a type of person that cannot exceed and succeed if my environment is toxic. Like, if my environment is toxic, my productivity, my ability to work is hindered. If I'm not in a good academic environment, if I'm in a supportive, encouraging, enriching environment, my productivity will ultimately increase because there's good energy around. I'm not in a competitive field. I'm not in a stressful place. I'm involved with highly positive people. So that's something which I focus on. So yeah. Okay. Since I've reviewed my test results, I'll be explaining the different 16 personality types to give you a rough idea on where you are. So there's INTJ or INTJ/T, which are imaginative and strategic thinkers with a plan for everything. INTP/A or INTP/T are innovative inventors with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. ENTP/A or ENTP/T are smart and curious thinkers who cannot resist an intellectual challenge. INFJ/A or INFJ/T are quiet and mystical, yet very inspiring and tireless idealists. ENTJ/A or ENTJ/T are bold, imaginative, and strong-willed leaders, always finding a way or making one. INFP/A or INFP/T are poetic, kind, and altruistic people, always eager to help a good cause. ENFJ/A or ENFJ/T are charismatic and inspiring leaders, able to memorize their listeners. ENFP/A or ENFP/T are enthusiastic, creative, and sociable free spirits who can always find a reason to smile. ISTJ/A or ISTG/T are practical and fact-minded individuals whose reliability cannot be doubted. ISFJ/A or ISFJ/T are very dedicated and warm protectors, always ready to defend their loved ones. ESTJ/A or ESTJ/T are excellent administrators, unsurpassed at managing things or people. ESFJ/A or ESFJ/T are extraordinarily caring, social, and popular people, always eager to help. ISTP/A or ISTP/T are bold and practical experimenters, masters of all kinds of tools. ISFP/A or ISFP/T are flexible and charming artists, always ready to explore and experience something new. And the last two are ESTP/A or ESTP/T are smart, energetic, and very perspective people who truly enjoy living on the edge. Last but not least, ESFP/A or ESFP/T are spontaneous, energetic, and enthusiastic people. Life is never boring around them. Now, your personality describes how you feel, think, and behave as you interact with the world. So, for you to fully understand which personality you click with, or how to classify your own personality type, the best thing to do is to take the free online quiz and determine or get an idea of what your personality type is. Because, yes, I knew what a type of person I am, but now I have a broader perspective and a broader understanding of my personality. And like I said, I'm completely surprised and shocked how accurate the results came out to be. And as I was reading everything and all of the test results, I was literally nodding at every single thing. Yes, there were some tweaks and altercations that had to be made. However, it was 90% accurate. That's how highly accurate this is. And you might take the test and find there to be no altercations needed. So I think the best thing to do is to take the test and to see what type of personality you have, to get a broad understanding and a more summarized version to explain your own personality to people. Alongside MBTI, there are 4 types of personalities: Type A, Type B, Type C, and Type D. Type A are highly motivated and organized, but competitive and perfectionistic. Type B are relaxed and flexible, but not as ambitious. Type C are very consensuous, but has difficulty with emotional expression. and type D are pessimistic, anxious, and prone to isolation and distress. Which one are you? I would say I go in the type A and type B category. I am highly motivated to do things. I am quite organized. And I do get quite competitive and perfectionistic. However, I do have that relaxed and flexible side, sometimes not as ambitious. So I feel like I undergo those two categories. I also think I could go under type D, pessimistic, anxious, and prone to isolation and distress. I do experience anxiety a lot, and I think all humans do. However, as I'm overly observant of the world around me and observant of myself and other people, I'm more prone to being anxious and less free. Also, I did mention before how I do dissociate with people if I'm not feeling my best self, and I do need time to reflect and sit with myself and, like I said, have that alone time. I also am very prone to stress. So yeah, I feel like I do undergo those three personality types, thinking about it more. I forgot to explain the different categories of MBTI, for mine being INFJ/T. So the I stands for introversion, the E stands for extroversion, the S stands for sensing, N stands for intuition, thinking, which is T, or feeling, which is F, judging, which is J, or perceiving, which is P. So these results combine in multiple ways to form the 16 different personality types. For instance, if you're an ENFJ personality type, you tend to be friendly and collaborative. You are creative and like to think about the big picture. You prioritize feelings and values in your decision making. You prefer to follow a plan and be organized. However, if you're an ISTP personality type, you tend to be reserved and calm. You focus on concrete facts and actions. You prioritize objective information and logic in decision making, and you are flexible and enjoy spontaneity. According to an article I read about personality types, your personality can actually impact your mental health. So, according to this article that is right in front of me, your personality type can have many effects on both your mental and physical health. For example, while most people experience anxiety from time to time, some people experience it more often and more intensely than others. If you're a worrier by nature, you're more likely to fall into a cycle in which anxiety creates further problems such as insomnia and mood swings. If you have a type A personality, your ambitious traits may encourage you to regularly go to the gym. While this is healthy, if you're too much of a perfectionist, you may overdo the workouts and cause injuries or burnout. With a relaxed type B personality, on the other hand, you're more likely to disregard your physical health altogether. So you can see this totally impacts your physical and overall mental health and overall well-being. So after reviewing your personality type and fully reflecting on your weaknesses and strengths and your traits, fully reflect on what you need to work on, because aside from, the societal standpoint and the relationship and friendship standpoint, in terms of your mental health and overall physical health, it's vitally crucial for you to determine what needs fixing so you don't indulge yourself in mental or physical illnesses. And I just want to clarify something really quick. I'm not completely introverted. People assume that because I'm a calm and quiet person by nature, that makes me not sociable or quiet all the time. But that's not true. With my closest friends and people who I'm comfortable with and can be my true authentic self with, I'm most likely the most loud, energetic person there. If I were to describe my personality in 11 words to give you a rough idea, they would be: 1. Calm. 2. Passionate. 3. Silly. 4. Witty. 5. Principled. 6. Empathetic. 7. Enthusiastic. 8. Honest. 9. Observant. 10. Respectful. And 11. Youthful. To summarize this episode, I can say that I've gained much knowledge in investigating my personality in depth and the things in which I can praise myself in and things which seek improvement. Overall, it's been a wondrous experience, and I strongly advise you in diving deep in this topic and discovering your MBTI, as it will highly impact your social life and how you can cultivate worthwhile and compatible relationships and detect people who don't fit your standards or interests. Okay, we have reached the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Comments will be open, and I'll be looking forward to your reviews, notes, or questions, or maybe recommendations for my new episode. New episodes come out every Tuesday. Check out my Instagram and TikTok, as well as YouTube, which I'll be posting episodes on as well. I love and appreciate you all. See you next week. Bye!